Hi Fast Track Barbie friends, welcome to the channel again. Today's video I prepared is going to be very interesting and exciting because I'm going to talk about the Greater Southern Waterfront transformation and how all of you can be better prepared for it. So this is the Greater Southern Waterfront. Let's just take a look at this.
The GSW comprises 30 kilometers of our southern coastline, from Gardens by the Bay east all the way to Pasir Panjang. And it's about 2,000 hectares of land. It's 6 times the size of Marina Bay, or in other terms, about 2 Pongos.
The Greater Southern Waterfront will be redeveloped to take full advantage of our coastline. The land that the Keppel Club sits on can accommodate 9,000 housing units, both private and public, with waterfront promenades and open spaces. Several big companies already have offices at the Greater Southern Waterfront. More office space will be developed, which will bring more job opportunities. People can work where they live and live where they work. The two disused power stations and Pulau Brani will be redeveloped into new attractions. Sentosa's beach areas will be revitalized. The heritage and nature trails will be expanded. The green areas will be linked from West Coast Park to East Coast Park. There will be new lifestyle destinations, including a new resort by the Labour movement.
What we talk about, this government, we will deliver.
Wow. So what does he mean by that? Right, let us just study what this means. Back in 2013, HDB also announced plans for a housing estate at the site of the former Bidadari cemetery area, right? And their residential developments are currently underway. Upper Aljunied Road was realigned, and there are 3 new roads that have been developed: the Bidadari Park Drive, Alcove Crescent, Woodleigh Link. Right, they've been constructed to serve the upcoming estate, and we have Woodleigh MRT station that is at the northeast line, and this will also provide MRT access to the residents of Bidadari. Okay, so if you look at this now, you can observe that over the years, you can observe and witness the transformation of the estate, and this is basically the master plan from 2014, and this is today's plans, right? And you can see that towards the left side, the west side of the estate, right, this has been reserved, and this has been zoned as residential, and it has not been fully maximized yet, the land, right? Over towards the east area on the right hand side, with all the HDB that's under the BTO clusters, all right? And this is the Gukas area, yep, and this is Woodleigh MRT station, right? So what can we expect from the grand plan of the GWS? But before we go into that, let us just look at the present prices, right? This is what I could find out. This is the estimated BTO prices for a 4-room flat at Bidadari area at 532K and a 5-room flat about $611,000. Yep. Trevor transactions today sits at about an average of 1731 per square feet. Where Trevor is here. This is an en-bloc site, right? Next, we have Park Colonial. They received their keys, I think, earlier this year, or late last year, I can't remember. I think earlier this year, and it's transacting today at about 1964 per square feet. It's achieved already 2,000 over per square feet for the smaller units. Now for sale, we have Woodleigh Residences, right? Average done price is at 2,153. Yep. So what can we expect from the grand plan of the Greater Southern Waterfront? This site, guys, has been the top of the town last week. Actually, if I can recall correctly, this has been the top of the town for a few years when the ministry was tasked and they were actually engaging all of us on how to make it fair for all Singaporeans to have a chance to live in this site, a prime location that is affordable to everyone and not just the wealthy. All right, an example of people that can afford to live in a great place like a Pinnacle at Duxton. It seems that you have to be wealthy to be able to afford the housing over there. Yeah, so this area here is going to consist of 6,000 HDB units and 3,000 units of private residential. And for all of you who are not familiar to this part of Singapore, this is at the southern part of Singapore. It's a short drive away from Vivo. Vivo is towards the east. This is Caribbean, right? It's towards east on this side where Harbourfront is also. And then, of course, towards the right bottom will be Sentosa already. Right, this is a zoom out view of this area, and this is where Harbourfront is. Yep, this is where this is the reef. I think they were selling it last year. Yep, so this is Harbourfront, and then this will be your Vivo City, and this is the bridge that links you to Sentosa. All right, so you can see basically how prime this area is going to be. This is going to be an extension of the Bukit Panjang Park. Yeah, there'll be 4 new parks that will be created here. Here you have your Alexandra Nature Park, alright. You have your Malaya Creek Nature Park, and then you have the Keppel Side Park, and then you have the park here over at King's Dock. Alright. I will link some of the clips and the newspaper articles in the comment section below, so you're able to read more about it. Alright, so back to our focus area. This land here will be launched for sale for public and private housing in the next 3 to 5 years. Alright, this is going to be a car light area whereby you can see, because of 2 MRT stations, it's going to be more of a lifestyle type of neighborhood. And analysts has also stated that this area, because of the prime site, it should be a very high possibility that it will fall under the PLH. I will also put a link here, right, for you to look and have a little bit of visual understanding what is the prime location housing. And if a 4-room, imagine if a 4-room in this area is going to cost you $700,000, all right, for a BTO. What do you think would the price of the condominiums be? Right, let's look at this area from the view of the master plan. Yep, so this is where it's a zoom out here. So this is where Vivo is. Okay, you can see that this is going to have more kind of what they said earlier, right? They're going to bring jobs towards your home, and when you are working, you can also work in the area. And therefore, towards the left, where the Pasir Panjang power stations buildings are going to be, they have plans to transform it into, if I'm not wrong, it's going to be some sort of business area, right? Towards the north is already Maple Business City. Yep. So I think it'll be more offices, white sites, or business park in this area, where I think it will just continue to enhance the pricing of the lands in this area. Okay, so so this here you can see they bring homes closer to jobs. Yeah. Okay, this is the next part, which is the Sentosa branding plans. Right. This was announced again back in 2019 where the objective was to actually plan out a strategy for the tourism industry. And I guess the concern will be tourism appeal will go down in Singapore. If they do not reinvest and rejuvenate our present tourism area, then they will be at risk of people going to other cities rather than coming to Singapore, right? Because based on tourism, according to what they said, it's actually contribute 4% of our GDP. So let's now take a look at what's in store for the Sentosa branding plans. Here, you can see that they're going to break this into 5 parts. This is the existing view of Pulau Brani. So in future, you're going to get, can you see a bridge here from the mainland, right? 2 bridges, and then one that is going to connect towards Sentosa. Yeah. So these are going to be the vibrant clusters. It's going to have another large-scale attraction. This is going to be filled with, again, dining, retail, hotels. All right, waterfront area connecting Mount Gambier to Mount Faber. All right, so a lot of greenery, and of course, obviously our beachfront that they're going to make it a bit more exciting. Yeah. Let's now listen to this.
Sentosa is relooking its long term plans in the wake of the COVID 19 pandemic. And to that end, the master plan to redevelop Sentosa and Pulau Brani into a choice tourist destination will be reviewed to account for trends arising from the pandemic. First announced in 2019, the master plan divides the two islands into 5 zones. The vibrant cluster zone will have large scale attractions. Island Heart will feature hotels, conference spaces, dining, and retail outlets, and the waterfront zone on Pulau Brani will house a discovery park. The Ridgeline zone will connect green spaces from Mount Faber to Mount Imbia and feature nature and heritage attractions, while Sentosa's beaches will be rejuvenated with a water show, fairgrounds, and other attractions in the beachfront zone. With more is journalist Ng Keng Jin. The pandemic, Keng Jin, has forced a rethink to the redevelopment plans for Sentosa and Pulau Brani. But how major will this review be? Is it essentially back to square one?
Olivia. No, I don't think it's going to be back to square one. Sentosa Development Corporation has told us that they're still going to maintain the 5 zones that they split Pulau Brani and Sentosa into in the review of their plans. So I think the other question you want to ask is why exactly is there a need for review? And I have to caveat that the answer wasn't given by Sentosa Development Corporation, but analysts have said that COVID may have changed the tastes and preferences of consumers. For instance, some attractions that might have had large crowds gathering together in the same place might not be as appealing to consumers anymore, and these might need a rethink or redesign. Another reason is that COVID, as well as current geopolitical tensions, have affected the supply chain, as well as the cost of raw materials. And the building costs, the timing of the completion of projects, these might have to be relooked in this review of the Sentosa Brani Master Plan.
So building on that, Keng Jin, the Sentosa Development Corporation is conducting feasibility studies on tourism opportunities post-pandemic. Do you have more details on what these opportunities could be?
So analysts have said that local tourism has picked up during the pandemic. I think one of the reasons might be the Singapore Rediscovers initiative. And as borders reopen, I think one of the things that Sentosa will be looking at now is how to retain the pool of local tourists that they have attracted over the pandemic. Given that local tourists now have many choices overseas, I think it would be interesting to see how Sentosa keeps itself relevant to Singaporeans who are thirsting for travel. The other thing that Sentosa can also look at is how to continue to be attractive to digital tourists, people who want to visit Singapore remotely and see what it has to offer without leaving the comfort of their homes. And this is something that the pandemic, as well as the review, gives an opportunity for. So with Singapore pushing towards the Green Plan 2030 and also looking at how to develop more sustainably, I think the review also offers Sentosa Development Corporation an opportunity to see how to leverage its natural landscape as well as the beachfront setting that it has to offer attractions that are more sustainable and do not require a huge amount of development and leave a huge carbon footprint.
Okay, so can you just imagine when all of these plans that you have seen so far have been executed and delivered? And so far, you know that when we plan something, we always over-deliver, isn't it? The examples are such as Marina Bay Sands, right? Bidadari Town, Jewel at Changi, and many more. So what price do you think a private property is going to cost? I think there is a possible future land price might hit in this area in the next 3 to 5 years of 1,600 to 1,008 per square feet, and a possible selling price of between $2,800 to $3,000 per square feet, right? And some projects that have crossed the 3,000 mark are in the likes of Kenny Hill Pierce and Midtown Modern. And I think achieving this brand new benchmark price is highly possible, and that's because of the roadmap that I've observed. right? So, personally, I'm very excited for this decade, right? And let me just show you why. So now this is 2022. By 2025, this is what we could expect to happen in Singapore, right? There'll be the launch of the BTO at GSW, launch of the GLS for the private residential. There'll be the completion of the Thomson East Coast Line and the completion of the Circle Line. Then by 2026, we will expect the Marina Bay Sands 4th Tower to be completed. Yep, this is actually adjacent to the first 3 towers. And if you read, again, I will attach the articles at the bottom. You read it's going to form part of the entire design. Yeah, the same architect is going to do it. Next, if you read the papers, also the Jurong Lake District, which is near to the lakeside, right? It's going to become a lifestyle tourism project. By 2027, this is what we expect will happen. The PSA city terminals will be fully moved to Tuas Megaport. Yeah, and by 2029, Cross Island Line will be completed. You will stretch from aviation all the way to Jurong area. And of course, by 2030, the completion of Changi Airport's Terminal 5 and the relocation of the PLAB, which is the Paya Lebar Airbase, right? To me, the relocation of Paya Lebar Airbase is going to be the next thing for the next decade that's going to be exciting. Yep. So the question is then, are you prepared, right, for the most exciting decade of the Singapore real estate? Isn't it all just so exciting? For the next 8 years, you can see the roadmap of Singapore's real estate landscape, how it's going to change and how all of you can be better prepared for it. Right? Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And once again, I want to let you know that I appreciate all of you taking time off to watch the video, and do remember to subscribe. Take care and God bless.